welcome to CROCH-EH, a Canadian crochet podcast. I am your hostess, Claudia. Thank you so much for joining me today. I herald from the base of the Rocky Mountains in southern Alberta, and I love to crochet. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back. We are in for quite a long episode today, so I hope you have your tea ready. I'm drinking Earl Grey, even though it's the afternoon because I'm medicated to sleep. But we're gonna get going with this. So happy Wednesday. Let's get started. I'm just going to start this out and admit that I have been working on things, but I haven't finished anything. In spite of what I said last week, we went camping and we had such a great time, and I did work on some stuff, but I didn't get anything finished. So I have no finished projects to show you. So we're just gonna hop right into the whips today. All right, I showed this one to you guys last episode, I'm quite certain. So I have made some adjustments to it. This is the beginning of a little tiny pink sock for my daughter. I have just started on the heel portion of this, and I am participating in Sock Week from Nitty Natty. I will link that below in the description box so that you can see. Like not officially, I just am like, oh, that'd be great. Like this will definitely inspire me to at least finish one sock. So it started on Sunday, and we have until midnight this following Sunday of this week to complete. So if you're a quick knitter or crocheter of socks, you can join in. This one's going to be a little shorty sock. She didn't want a tall one, so I have one of her own socks to sort of measure along with when she is not here, because it's summertime and I have a heck of a time keeping my kids in the house, which is a really great problem to have, just let me say that. It is using this really fun yarn that I got from Michael's. It's called A Perfect Pair, and it has bamboo, polyester, nylon, and I think one more thing, but I can't remember, and I don't have the label, but I still have absolutely tons left. And we're going on here, and I am using, I believe this is a 3mm, maybe 3.5, no, the 3mm hook, and it's one of those ones that I've complained about in the past that they just get so grungy looking. Like, I wash them, I wash my hands, I don't know what it is, it just collects yuckiness. So, but I like how it's going. All right, the next thing that I have to show you guys is, this was my camping project, and, oh, I should have put a stitch, hang on. I'm gonna go back for a hot second. I'm gonna put the stitch marker in that sock, so then next time when I show it to you, unless it's done, I'll show you. Okay, I have just started the heel. My kids are actually in the house right now, and you may hear them arguing. It's incredibly hot today. It's 31 degrees right now, and we're not used to that because it was a cool spring. Okay, so there, I put my stitch marker into there. Okay, all right, now we're caught back up. So while we were camping, I started making this. This is a cowl in this is called Wool Like, and I actually found the name of this color. It's called Golden Amber. I'm seeing on the camera that it's like really yellow, but it's more of that like super trendy mustard color from a couple of years ago. I don't know, I really like it. I'm not really into trends and stuff, so anything that's not trendy doesn't bother me at all. I like what I like, and I am very much into that. Anyway, so I have got this far on it. I wanted it to be a really, really big one. So as you can see, if I had it on, it would be like that. But I wanted it to be like big and like slouchy and like a really great autumn project. So I am about a third done on this. I'm not using a pattern. I'm just winging it, going by measurement, how it feels. And I am using a linen stitch on this because I like how springy this yarn is in a linen stitch. I'm not sure you'll be able to see it much. We'll try. But it's really easy. So it's single crochet, chain, single crochet, and skip into there to get the pretty little individual V's. This has got to be one of my favorite stitches of all time. I love it, and I always go back to it. So that is something else that I am making. I do have a stitch marker. I'll add that into the row that I am currently on. So that's here. There we go. Puppies. No. Sorry about that. And the last thing that I am working on, and I am most excited about, is I have abandoned that other blanket that I was making twice, and I have started something else. And I mean abandon, like I frogged it and started a different project, and then I frogged it again and started yet another project, because I think when I look at stuff too long, I think of other things that I would rather do. And I need to stop doing that. It's not it's not conducive to finishing things. I'll just say that. So in my basket, I am still using all of those colors that I have spoken about, and some of them are present here that you can see. I have started making this, and this is lovely. You'll have seen it in my card video, or picture, I mean. Is this not just the most beautiful thing? So I found this pattern on Pinterest, and then they also had it on Ravelry, so I added it to my queue. And I did the thing where I let Google pick the color of the next row for me. So I actually did a ton of that. So I have my handy dandy bullet journal notebook that I use for crocheting stuff. So I ripped a page out of the back, and then I have my legend here of my colors. So where it says, you know, like 1 means Aaron, 2 is gravy. 2 is gray, 3 is navy, 4 is gold, 5 is white, 6 is teal, and 7 is light blue. And I put that on a sticky note so that I can move it around. And then, yeah, I went to the Google random number generator, went 1 through 7, because that's the number of colors that I have. And then I just did a whole bunch so that I don't have to keep doing it for every single row that I already have it here. And I've just kept it tucked into the page that I'm using, which I've now lost because I took the page out. Where is it here? There, like this. So this is, I have written down the pattern up to a row 127, or I believe it's 127. The pattern is not pattern-like. It's like, it's called a crochet along, and it's super lovely, don't get me wrong. But it's not really a pattern. One thing I do like though is that the author of this did provide a lot of links to tutorials how to do the different stitches that they were using and all of that, and I really, really like that. So I do recommend this. This is in my Ravelry queue, so if you would like to take a peek at the pattern, you can head on over there and get that sorted out. So get that sorted out, you know what I mean, check it out. But yeah, so there's more than what I've got here, but I wanted to crochet up to that because I have a hard time envisioning what 127 rows of different stitches are going to look and feel like, and I didn't want to write down the whole thing if I'm never going to get there, because I have to do a lot of like thinking and processing and stuff in my mind to translate the person's pattern into something meaningful for me. So that is the big thing. So yeah, it's been lots of fun. I have learned. I am working on a row now that it has Catherine wheels, which I am really liking. I was really worried about them because I really had no idea how they were made, but luckily the person that created this pattern has tutorials about it, and also they provided the chart so I mean I absolutely love charts. If I had time, I would have charted this whole thing out, but I didn't. I was more concerned about getting her done. So actually I may have charted out just let me check real quick. Oh yeah, I did sort of a mini chart for the Catherine wheels here because I was trying to figure it out in my head. And yes, I know I didn't like exactly use the proper like stitch terminology in terms of charting, but it makes sense to me. That's all that's important right now for this. So yeah, I'm about halfway through the second row of the Catherine stitches or Catherine wheel stitches, and it's really pretty, and I love how, yeah, it's just going so nicely. So yeah, I did white for the first section. Oh, I guess I'm nowhere near half, more like a third. Then we're doing teal, and then I'm going to come back with the teal and do white again. And then I want to say it's a bunch of rows of single crochet or something like that. I keep looking it up. Catherine wheel. Yeah, then there's a ton. There's like a big section of like 12 rows of single crochet that you change the colors and all that. So that is coming up. That's luckily very mindless. I can just watch TV. I am using, for this, I am using a 7mm. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm not using a 7mm. 6.5. I could have sworn I was using a 7. Maybe I am. I could have 2 crochet hooks in here. Nope, that's it. 7 or 6.5. What you didn't see through the loveliness of editing is I went to put my hands together and I flinged the crochet hook out of my hand. So I don't necessarily want to show you that, but just know that I did it. You can imagine. You've seen me before, or perhaps not. And if you haven't, this is how I am. So yes, I'm using this bamboo one. I got it from Walmart. I really like these hooks, and that's it. All right, so I am going to mix two sections together here. So typically at this time, I shout out another YouTube channel that I think y'all should give some love to. I don't say y'all normally, so I don't know where that came from. And today I am going to give, I have notes off to the side, Deja from Heritage and Home Crochet, who also tagged me in the thing that I'm going to be doing next. But I love Deja's channel. I love her energy. I love her projects. She wears the greatest stuff on her channel. So highly recommend. Go check her out. Definitely go subscribe as well. She's great. You're going to love it. And remember, it's free. It's free. It's free to subscribe on YouTube. So we should do it. Okay, so I was tagged in this 20 questions thing about crochet. So we are gonna get started. And remember, I have notes off to the side here. So I'll be looking to read the question and then I will tell you, okay? It shouldn't affect how everything sounds, but just, you know, don't think I'm like telling somebody over there, that's all. All right, question 1. How old were you when you learned to crochet and who taught you? So I have to think, it was about a year before my son was born is when I first started. I would have been about 23. And who taught me? YouTube actually taught me way back then. So I was 2008, 2007, something like that. It's quite a while ago. But yeah, YouTube is not the juggernaut, or it was not the juggernaut that it is now in terms of being able to teach people things. And unfortunately, I cannot remember the channel that I had saved to learn the crocheting that I did, but it was really, really great. I feel like her name had like a bee in it, like the bumblebee or something like that, but really I can't remember. It was so long ago. So unfortunately, I can't even like direct you to how or to find this channel or anything. But I remember at the time, hers were probably the best because she would use she had great lighting. She had a great like overhead system. Her hands and hook and yarn and backdrop were all like, they were all perfect. So she would never have like, she wouldn't use like a wooden hook on like a taupe background or anything like that. So I really appreciated it. Yeah, so that was a set of great tutorials that she had, and I really appreciated that, and I loved it, and that's how I got started, is YouTube actually taught me how to crochet. What was the first thing you remember making? The first thing I remember making, I would make a lot of square things. So just before I started crocheting, I was really into making things out of duct tape. And one thing that my brain is very good at doing, if you have watched here before, I've talked about this, is that I can look at something and then I can take it apart in my mind and see what the shapes are to make something else. So that's why I don't follow patterns very often, because oftentimes I can look at something and if I have the basic skills to accomplish it, then I know how to do it. So I remember my sister-in-law asked me to make her a Kleenex box holder for the back of her headrest, so because that was a thing at the time. So I crocheted all the rectangles and squares and I sewed them all together and made a little strap and all that. It was this really ugly blue yarn because at the time I hardly had any yarn. I probably had like 4 different colors and that was about it. But that was the first thing that I remember making. The make that you're the proudest of and why? I don't know. I wouldn't say that I have, like, I have stuff that I really like, but I don't know if like I'm proud of them. Yeah, this is a really, really tough one. I'm gonna go with, and I'm gonna see if I can find a picture. I will put it in here between questions. I made a Hudson's Bay knockoff blanket that I loved making. I loved going and picking the colors. I used the Vanna's Choice yarn from Michael's at the time, which I don't think they carry that anymore. I think Lion Brand had it. But yeah, like I spent so much time measuring, and I asked even like random people on the internet, you know, does anybody have a Hudson's Bay blanket? Because I would love it if you could please measure the spaces between. So I did that. Yeah, and it turned out really good. A lot of my blankets end up very very vaguely trapezoidal, and that one definitely does, because I tend to add stitches as I go along, and especially back then, it was several years ago that I made this blanket, so my skills have come a long way since then, and I understand like why I had done that. It wasn't like tension or anything. It's like I legitimately would be like, oh, like there's a space there, I should put a stitch in it, when that's not the case. Did the entire thing out of linen stitch, but yeah, I would say that one's probably my most proud make. Show me the oldest ball of yarn you have in your stash. So many of you may know, some of you may know, some of you may not know, I got rid of a whole bunch of yarn that I had no intentions of using. So none of my yarn is really all that old. If I had to hazard a guess, it would probably be whatever is in this. I almost always have an Aran colored yarn on hand because I like it and it's worsted weight, and I find that it's just like, it's an easy base color to get started. And whatever is in here I've had for a long time. Like I never get rid of this color. So this is probably it, or whatever is in the core. Oh, knife grip or pencil grip or both. I don't know what I do. This one? No, what do I do? This knife, I guess. I hold my hooks like this. I have tried holding it like this, and my tension is so wacky that I can't do it. I find this is a lot faster for me, but it does hurt my wrist because of the repetitiveness, whereas I think this one would make my fingers more sore because I feel like my fingers would do more work, and maybe that's why it's awkward for me. Boye style, Susan Bates style, or hybrid. So if you are not new to this channel, you know what team I am on. Team Susan Bates. Love those hooks. Love them. To me, that is the perfect aluminum hook, is a Susan Bates hook. I learned on Boye hooks because I had no idea there was a difference. But hey, Susan Bates, that is the hill that I will die on. One thing, these are not Susan Bates hooks, but they're the same shape. And they have a lot of the same qualities that the Susan Bates have, except that these are bamboo. So I like these. I like the pointy head. That's what gets me. Favorite brand of hooks. Okay, so Susan Bates, I would say I have a couple of clover hooks that I really, really like, but they're bigger. And they have the Boye shaped heads. But yeah, these ones, I can't even think of what they're called. You buy them at Walmart. I want to say it's Cup of Sugar or something like that. I will find what they're actually called, and I'll link them in the description box below, because it has no branding on them whatsoever, which is, again, like, super weird, but I like it. No, like, to me, like, these are incredible. They're inexpensive. They compost. They're like resistant. They're resilient. They are finished really nicely for being so inexpensive. Like, I've never had one that's had like slivers that come out of it. Nothing like that. They've all been so good, and I really like that. Favorite hook size or range of sizes. Okay, so I used to use 6.5 constantly, and then I'd lose it because I always had 6.5 projects. So there was a time before I did the Great Purge that I had probably 6.5 hooks. This being one of them. I could swear I was using a 7 for that. That would explain why I'm having some tension problems. I'm still looking at that blanket that I was showing you guys earlier. Anyway, but yeah, 6.5 is probably my favorite. Yeah, anything like, to me, small starts at like 5 millimeters. So, but yeah, I was also one of those people that was super into that like really, really big crochet, like that, like insanely large, like mega crochet. So I have a 25 and a 35 millimeter hook. The 16 is pretty big, but I mean, I like those ones, but it feels like you're crocheting with a phone. It's so big. Oh, my favorite weight of yarn. That is a number 4 worsted weight yarn. Absolute favorite. I feel like it's super versatile and I love it, and I'm never gonna give it up. Number 10 is, what is my favorite yarn and why? So my favorite fiber of yarn is superwash merino, and I love it because it feels nice, it smells nice, you can wash it, it seems to hold up pretty well, it has fibers in it that are natural, so it ticks a lot of the boxes for me. I really like it. Feature one of my favorite yarns. Oh, I sort of did that earlier, but I am really, really loving this, which I know like this totally goes against my I love thick and bulky yarns. But these sock yarns are stupendous. Like, they feel so good. They work up so well. They're just like lovely, and they go so far. Like, that's one thing about, I would say, like a thinner yarn, is that it goes so long. Or like you can go so far with a single ball of like size 2 yarn. But so here's one perfect pair from Michaels. Again, last week I tried to talk about this and my editing was all weird, but they might be not carrying these anymore. So if you can get to the clearance sale and they have any, grab some. Which is my favorite crochet item to make? My favorite crochet item to make. I really like ponchos. Triangle scarves, I would say, is probably my meat and potatoes. I like to make blankets. Anything really. Like, I love making stuff, and I like trying out new things too, that maybe I haven't made before in some cases. Which crochet item do you dread making? Anything that's amigurumi, because I can't say it. I don't think that's how you say it. I know how it's spelled. But yeah, so that's what I dread making, because I see these things that are cute, but they're so small and so tight, and I like, yikes. What's one crochet item that you have yet to make? Amigurumi, because of the reason before. Describe your color palette. Oh, this is a great one. So my favorite color is orange, but I like sort of things that go together with it. So I feel like if I took you upstairs to my wardrobe, it would totally explain. But sort of like what I've got here, if I'll line it up nicely so you can see it. These are colors, oh no! These are colors that I like. I would also, like, this is just a pen, but I mean, I would have purple in there as well. So I personally have purple, orange, red, dark blue. Like, my colors are usually like more subdued. Oh yeah, there's a gray over here. But yeah, so I would say that's sort of my palette is, well, I'm a deep autumn, so I tend to skew to all of those colors that are like, they have an earthy richness to them, even though I love, like, objectively looking at bright colors. I don't wear them, so I don't really surround myself with them all that much. So yeah, think of like, yeah, earthy inspired colors that are kind of darker. Yeah, I wear a lot of gray, a lot of purple, a lot of like that pumpkin orange color, those kinds of things. And I love turquoise as well. Like, if I could have our whole house like pumpkin and turquoise, I'd be a happy girl, but I'm not the only one who lives here. Number 16 is my go-to crochet hack. So a lot of people, I've got this prepared for you. A lot of people complain that they're chain twists, and I'm going to show you how I crochet this, like, in the most awkward fashion possible, that I start mine, and it makes it not curl. So I don't know what exactly I'm doing, but whatever I'm doing, it works so it stays flat. So when I always sort of hang on to the previous stitch before I move on, or I kind of do up to 4. Like, usually in my head, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have obsessive compulsive disorder. It's just something that I do. But see, even it's got, like, it'll have a tiny bit of twist, but not a ton. So I'm going to do probably 4 more. And it depends on the size of the yarn too. So really bulky yarn, I can probably only do 2 maximum. But yeah, so like, it's probably not the most beautiful chain that you're ever going to have. But like, it's straight. I can just flip it over and start going. And it has never caused me an issue. Crochet currently being a trend, and on crochet being mass produced by online shops and clothing stores. I can't remember if I've touched on this before. I feel like I wanted to talk about this and then I just never did because I was just so mad all the time. But I love that crochet is like cool, but I don't love that now it is a devalued product. So because you now can get crochet items in this, like you can get a sweater for $30 or a cardigan for $30 from Target or whatever. Like, that devalues what I do, like, big time, because now people are like, oh, well, why is a cardigan that looks like that $200 from you, but $30 at Target? I'm like, well, I have to buy all of this material, and I don't get it at a wholesale price. I do my best shopping sales and things like that, but I don't have a wholesale price, so it costs me more than a large-scale manufacturer. Also, I live in Canada and I charge much higher than someone in a developing nation would charge, even at a fair and direct trade price. So there's that. I do not work in a sweatshop, so I am not getting paid literal pennies for this. So that's why it costs so much more, because, you know, it really, it touches on a ton of things that I really like. I don't like about fast fashion, and that, you know, like sweatshop labor, unsafe working conditions, all of that stuff, just to make a buck. And like, it's very upsetting to me, and I don't like it, and I don't agree with it. And I really disagree with these items now being thought of as disposable. So even if I make someone something, I'm always going to like kind of have concern in the back of my mind that they're just gonna like throw it away one day. I really hope someone wouldn't, but when you start getting things that you're like, oh, I can just go buy another one, I could just go buy another one, that it's just like, it's scary. Like, it devalues it as a craft. It devalues the people that make it. It's just a very devaluating, kind of heartbreaking situation that I have no control over. But I do the best I can. Like, yes, I have acrylic yarn from a big box store, so someone probably was not paid fairly to get that. I am trying to make changes in my personal life where I can to alleviate that, but I also don't shame people for that, because lots of times this is what most people can afford, is a $5.99 skein of yarn instead of a $35 skein of yarn. So, I mean, you have to do the best that you can. And crochet being produced on a mass scale in sweatshops, which I know people actually have to crochet because it's not like a knitting machine. It's just, oh, it hurts my heart. So I don't like it. Support your friends who sell crochet items or sell patterns. Please don't go buy these things in a big box store. All right, feature a pattern designer and highlight one of their designs. So I feel like this particular person, I'm looking again at my notes, doesn't really need to be like featured necessarily. Her name is Heidi May, and she has the Velvet Acorn, and she has incredible knit and crochet designs that she has. And one thing I actually really appreciate about her store is not everything has a knit and crochet counterpart, but she does an incredible job of trying to make sure that, to the best of her ability, that she provides that in as many cases as she can. And I absolutely love that, because there's lots of times I see beautiful knitted things and it sort of gets sad because I don't want to have to figure it out myself. Sometimes I like when someone's done that work for me. So I love that. Love her shop. Very nice. And the pattern that I would like to show everyone, this like totally goes back to my like chunky crochet roots, is called the Verge sweater. It is a long sleeve sweater. I'll have pictures after I'm done talking about it, so don't worry about that. And it's super cute, and I love that it's like simple and rustic and just like salt of the earth kind of clothes. What is the next pattern you want to make? I have a few in my Ravelry queue right now. So I have this blanket that I'm working on. I have to finish the socks. I have to finish the cowl. What am I going to do next? There's this boho bag holder that I kind of wanted to make, but so many places don't have plastic bags anymore, so I don't really have any plastic bags, so I might actually take that off my list. Oh, there's this skirt. Oh my gosh. There's this lady on YouTube, and she doesn't like write patterns that I can find anyway, but she has these beautiful crochet alongs, and the skirt is called the Colorado skirt. I will link it in the description box below, but that's what I want to make. It's stunning. Oh, my biggest tip for beginners. This is question 20. So my biggest tip for you, if you have never crocheted anything before or you're brand new, is don't be afraid. Just start crocheting. Go to Michael's or go to Walmart or go to where's Target, I'm sure has these things as well. Get yourself, I would recommend getting yourself that set of 5 hooks. Those are like your basic kind of run-of-the-mill hooks. And some yarn like this. This is Bernat Premium yarn. You can get Red Heart Super Saver, although Red Heart Super Saver to me is a little bit crunchy nowadays, but find a color that you like, and I want you just to get started. There are so many tutorials that you can find on YouTube, just on the internet in general, if you're not a visual learner, but I just do it. Just start. It's nothing to be afraid of. And the beautiful thing about crochet is it is so easy to go back and fix something that you messed up. Like it's incredible. It's great how that works. It's not like knitting. Knitting scares me when I mess something up. But crochet, I can just be like, oh, that's weird. And then I just pull it out to the part that I need to go back to, and I fix it, and we keep going. So it's okay to make mistakes because they can be fixed. All right, some big news. I'm doing this every 2 weeks, sort of like puts a delay on all of this. So I, thanks to you guys, have reached over 500 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So that was my happy dance. In honor of this, I will be hosting a giveaway for what, you may ask. This is a beautiful, lovely triangle shawl that I had for sale, then I took it back because I wanted it for myself, and now I've never worn it, so I'm like, you know what, someone else is going to enjoy this a lot. It's a 3-color gray. It's very lovely. So this is a light gray, this is a dark gray, as you can see, and this middle section is like a few strands of this and a few strands of this woven together to make this very lovely yarn. And then I have, you know, made this, and it's really nice. So if you want to enter my giveaway, you can do that. How do you do that, you may ask? I will tell you. Sorry, I'm trying to like be dramatic. It's not going very well. I have set up a crochet podcast group in Ravelry. So I will put the link in the description box below with all of the details, and I will let you know where you go. But in the group, there is a thread that will say, enter my 500 subscribers giveaway. I want you to go in there. First, you have to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. And then I would like you to please just give me a little synopsis of what you're working on. That's all I want. It's really, really easy. If you are someone who does not use Ravelry and you still want to enter, then please shoot me an email, and I will have that in the description box below as well. And I will put a holder space for you. So after the entries are closed, and I am going to close them on, I'm just checking, what is the Monday before? So we're going to have about 2 weeks to enter this. If I can find a calendar. Okay, so I'm going to say that the entries will be closed on the 25th of July. So I will close the thread down at the time, and you won't be able to enter after that, so you have to be in there by then. Then I'm going to use the random number generator to generate me a number, and then we will figure out who that is in the list. So if you would like to win this lovely scarf, which is, I believe, this one is a cotton polyester blend. It is lovely. It is featured on my Ravelry page. You should go enter the draw. It's nice. You don't have to pay shipping, nothing like that. The entries are limited to Canada and the United States because I unfortunately cannot ship overseas right now because it is very, very expensive to use or to ship anything from Canada. So this, come on guys, it's lovely, it's beautiful, it's great for all types of weather. It's great. You should go enter. All right, now I have to pick 3 people to do this tag with us. So I would love to see everybody's. If I didn't tag you, please don't feel a slight. It's not a slight. I just kind of randomly picked some people that I enjoy that I think would be able to participate in this, but you're totally welcome to participate in this as well. And I would love you to link in your comment if you have participated in this tag so that I can go watch you too. So I am nominating Life in Stitches. I was going to say I'm donating. I'm nominating Life in Stitches, Kay's Mom's Crochet, and Crochet Cakes. So I can't wait for you guys to show me what you're making. All right, everybody, we have hit the end of our podcast. Finally, it's a long one. I told you it's going to be longer than usual. I hope that you guys are having a great summer. I hope that you're not too sweaty. I hope that things are going well for you and that you can have some adventures this year. So remember, don't forget to like and subscribe, especially subscribe if you want to enter the giveaway. And remember, giveaway details will be in the description box below. I will have all of the information that you will need for everything that happened in this podcast and about the giveaway and everything like that. And I want to say a massively huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed already and got me to the 500 subscriber count. That's like, it warms the cockles of my little black heart so much. So thank you. I really, it's great. It was a great day when I finally got the notification that the community tab was available to me. So it was awesome. So thank you so much. Stay bright, stay beautiful, and follow your vagabond hearts. Bye! Hello, before we get going, because this is what we do every single time. Hello, hello. Okay, everybody kiss. They always have to come and like cuddle me for a minute and slobber and lick me, and then they go lay down. Every time I do the podcast, it always happens. Next, sorry, catch back up. I started making cat. Well, you already have made noise. Just like make the noise.